Hi everyone, my name's Haley and I'm your chaotic witchy mama. Today I look forward to reflecting on the last year of practice that I have been practicing. How has it changed? Boy, has it changed. If you haven't gotten yourself a cup of coffee or tea, get yourself that. If you're interested in anything witchy, pagan-y, or if you like including your kids in your craft, don't forget to like and follow and subscribe. Oh, yes. So, let's get started. So, at this time, about a year ago, I was doing a lot of mindless spells. And I don't mean mindless as in, like, my mind wasn't there, but I just did so many things for the sake of doing things. And that's not necessarily helpful. I just learned that I personally feel that I get more effective spells if I just do one spell for like the entire month or more. There's a lot of times that I don't do spell work at all. That's another thing. As I realized that my practice feels stronger when I do less, I have went out of my way to figure out how to simplify the stuff in my house and the things that I do, witchy and not witchy. So I switched up doing a bunch of candle spells, a bunch of jar spells, a bunch of whatever spells, to making all of my magic mundane and making my mundane magic. A lot of my practices as of now is home-based. So I do a lot of protection things. I do a lot of like cooking things. I make a lot of stuff for the house in all kinds of ways. I home make lotion, shampoo, laundry detergent, hand soap. I home make incense now. That's new for me and really exciting. I home make diaper rash cream. I've homemade antifungal cream. I homemade literally everything. And everything that I homemade also has a layer of magical intentions in it, right? And I've talked about this before on my podcast. If you haven't looked at my podcast yet, go check her out. Chaotic Witchy Mama. Just like my name on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Anyway, the idea of layering mundane and magical on top of each other has been a huge thing for me. Like I was talking about homemaking things, right? I home make my laundry soap, and as I make my laundry soap, I put my magical intentions into it. And I don't do like this whole crazy ritual, like spell, right? It's more like a pagan version of a prayer. I just kind of, as I'm doing it, I thank each ingredient for what it does. And I also add a little bit of extra into it, a little bit of my personal intention. So I'm like, thank you, baking soda for cleaning things, right? Thank you, lemongrass, for smelling freaking good, right? Thank you, whatever it is that you're doing, just thank it. Same thing with oils and lotions, literally everything. Anything that I use has some sort of magical intention already imbued in it. So then when I use it, I pick it up and I remember the magical thing that it's associated with. It's like when they tell you to not charge your crystal. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm having a brain fart on the word I'm looking for, but tell it what to do, right? So you thank it for what it does, and then you add a little bit of extra. Like I have a smoky quartz necklace that I don't know where it is right now, but every time I put it on, it reminds me that I have imbued it with protection. And it's not just protection. Like every time I put this on, I literally can see a smoky cloud around me. And I think of it as like a filter. Like it filters out the stuff that comes in my personal space. So no matter how close other people get to me and things and energy and whatever, if I'm wearing that necklace, I've got a cloud of smoke around me, keeping me safe. And if anybody gets in my space, it just filters out the stuff I don't like, right? Think of like a water filter. I use the same analogy for selenite, by the way. I think of it as a filter. So, like a water filter, you can imagine it. You know, the water goes through, and then it cleans, and then it comes out better on the other side. So, that's kind of how I do my selenite and my smoky quartz. Smoky quartz is just always going to be associated with a smoky cloud of protection around me. And I love it. I do a lot of coffee and tea magic because I drink coffee every single day. So as I drink my coffee, I have a coffee spell that I do. Same thing every day. And as you do your coffee spell, you gotta actively think about what you want to see. I drink tea every single day after my coffee, and I just do like a little prayer with that, right? You know, drink your ginger tea and say, thanks for keeping me healthy. Thanks for protecting me from future illness, and you drink it, right? I also have a mantle in my living room, and I have a statue of Hestia on there. I just got Hestia a few months ago, actually. I originally kind of started doing hearth witchery, as in home practice, like I was talking about, and I wasn't praying to Hestia in particular when I started. I was just kind of thanking the house, doing like a pagan prayer for the house. Good morning, house. Thank you. You know, nice to see you. Thanks for keeping us safe from the weather, right? And as I was doing my mantle and literal hearth practice on top of my hearth, right, I just sort of started getting called to Hestia, and I started doing all my research, and now she's a big part of my practice. I light a candle for her every single day. I drink my coffee and meditate near her every single day. And even with that said, I'm going to throw in a piece of conflicting information here, because I just, like, my last video on TikTok, not TikTok, my last podcast episode, I talked about wanting to find a local hearth spirit instead of a Greek hearth spirit, because somewhere I came across some information where someone is like, oh, I don't think you can work with entities that are geologically not like there or not associated with you. So like it's hard for North Americans to work with Greek pantheons. I have been, but I am currently looking into any North American folklore on hearth, witchcraft, and hearth spirits, house spirits, and all of that. I also read a lot of tarot in my living room, and I let my kids join me with that. So every time I pick up my cards and I start shuffling, they always want to draw a card. So when I first started, I was trying to do it up here, and it never worked. And because anytime I would try to come up here and just like have a moment, they would start freaking out downstairs. So I sort of started just doing my tarot in the living room with them there. And they started to get an interest. And now every time I pick up those cards, they want to draw one. Sometimes they'll encourage me before I even get my cards. They're like, Mommy, can I pull a card? I'm like, okay, let's do it. So I shuffle my cards and I let them make the pulls for me, basically. So now I draw 3 cards every day, one from each kid. And I put them up on my mantle, and they sit there all day long and all night. And I have a daily planner, witchy planner thing, and I use that as like my tarot diary. So every day, and I draw those cards, I write it down. And that's about all I have time for today. I hope you enjoyed this. I am curious about what your path used to look like versus what it looks like now. So if y'all have anything you want to share, do that in the comments, and I look forward to hearing from you. Love you, bye!